What's up, everybody? It's your boy, J.R. Lee, and I'm back for another special episode of the Fly on the Wall show. And today, guys, I got a special treat today, man. I'm joined by my brother, and I don't think he really needs an introduction, but for the people who may not know you, you, of course, are a son, a friend. You call yourself a Z-list celebrity, serial entrepreneur, philanthropist. The list goes on. Legendary. And I call you a brother because you changed my life, but that's for later on. But for the people who may not know you, Charlie, can you tell us a little about yourself and what it is that you do?
First of all, I'm a dreamer.
Yes.
I have a hobby of chasing every dream that's in my mind. And I like to leave inspiration on how other people can do that as well. Because in my life, I've gotten to experience everything from becoming a millionaire to winning a Grammy, to winning an Emmy, to becoming a Nike athlete, to doing an Ironman, to biking across America, to having one of the most popular nonprofits in the world, to having 9 million followers on social media, and now owning one of the biggest coconut water companies in the world. And I've just been able to chase every dream that I've ever seen in my mind. And I really want everybody to be able to feel what I've been able to feel. And like for you, for example, I watched you chase a dream. And I told you before we got on camera, I said, you're going to be one of the richest people I know.
I receive that.
Because you are on your dream journey, and I believe in you so much.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
So thank you for interviewing me, man.
Thank you, man. It's a long time coming. And man, so you're on a podcast tour right now, man. You're traveling all across the world. Recently, you were in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you were Peter recently. New York Stock Exchange. I saw you Atlanta Records.
Yep.
The list goes on, man. You've been in a lot of rooms. What's the darkest room that you've been in? What's the darkest business room that you've been in?
The darkest business room that I've been in.
Like the kind that tested your soul more than your bank account.
There was a really dark time when Bankroll Fresh died. And Bankroll Fresh was an artist that we managed, me, Tech, and Al over at Street Execs. And that was a scary time because I had never experienced anything like that. But I actually learned something very valuable in that moment. And I learned it from one of my business partners. Because when Bankroll passed away, there was just a lot of chaos going on. And when things are falling apart, sometimes you want to run or retreat or hang it up or fold. And I saw my business partner, Al, say to us and our entire organization, we're not running just because times have gotten tough. We're going to stand strong and we're going to rebuild and we're going to double down on us. It's not time to run. And I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from that situation, but it was a very dark time. There was a lot of violence going on. And losing one of your artists is devastating. It's a tragedy, but we picked up the pieces, we rebuilt, and we stood our ground. And there's a lot more left in the tank than most of us can ever imagine. When times are tough, there's a lot more left when you think there's nothing left, but there really is. I bet you can relate to that in several ways.
I could definitely relate to that. Man, how important is it? Because imagine if you were to just give up in that moment. Like, how important is it to not give up? Like, even when it seems like you're near the end, like, how important is it to keep going?
There's been several times in my life where giving up presented itself. And I think back to my father. He taught me a lesson. one time when I was young, it was a lesson that stuck with me forever. And it might sound silly, but sometimes you could learn a lesson not through being taught with words, but through just watching somebody prove something to you. Driving to Florida with my father in an old 1956 Dodge, and I had just bought a T-Mobile Sidekick. I saved up all my money, and it might have been like $400, $300, $400, and I bought a T-Mobile Sidekick, and we're driving in the middle of the night, and my dad pulls over on the side of the road to look up at the stars. So we're sitting outside the car. We get back in the car. Car's stuck in the mud. So I get out and I start pushing the car. Get in the car, fall asleep. We're driving. We might be driving for an hour. When I wake up, I feel for where my T-Mobile Sidekick is, and I don't know where it is. I said, Dad, I think it might have fallen out when I was pushing the car. And so he turns around to try to figure out where we might have been, but we don't know how long we've been driving. And it's dark. It's the middle of the night, and it's in a black case. It's going to be almost virtually, it's like a needle in a haystack. And I told my dad, like, after about a couple hours of looking, I said, let's just go. And he said, no, I'm going to find it. And so I'm sitting in the car mad at him. And he's looking for hours. And I'm like, Pops, like, come on. And he's like, don't tell me I can't do something. I was like, let's just go. Like, forget it. Like, it's impossible. Well, after a few more hours passed, he gets in the car and we go on vacation. We enjoy our vacation, father-son vacation. And then we're driving back to Atlanta a week later. And I told my dad, whatever you do, don't even try to guess where this needle in the haystack might be. And once again, he's like, don't tell me I can't do something. Like, I'm going to find this phone. I said, it might have rained. Like, it probably doesn't even work anymore. Like, it could be under a leaf. It could be in a ditch. Like, we don't know where this thing is. And next thing I know, he's pulling over on the side of the road and I'm getting upset at him. And he said, don't tell me I can't do something. I said, it's impossible to find this phone. Hours and hours and hours pass. And I'm sitting in the car, pissed off. And I see my dad walking down the street. And his hands in the air. And he had the phone. He put it in my trust. He said, never let anybody tell you you can't do something. He basically found a needle in a haystack. And imagine if the haystack was 50 miles long. In that moment, I learned, if you want it, you will find exactly what you're looking for. Even if it could be on a 200-mile stretch of a highway on the side of the road and you're just guessing. Like, where do you live currently?
Jonesboro.
Jonesboro. Imagine between here and Jonesboro, you drop a phone and you don't know where you dropped it. How long would it take you to find it?
Forever. I mean, well, you got what's it called now? You got that little Apple Find My Phone.
You don't have that with the T. Your eyes are closed. You throw your phone out the window and you have no idea where it is. It might take you weeks to find it.
Somebody found it already. Somebody might have picked it.
So my dad proved something to me in that moment, and I held on to that forever, and I became really tough. And through every obstacle that I faced in my life, from being fired to being my business falling apart multiple times to having just a couple $100 left in the bank account to just wanting to give up when you get diagnosed with a brain tumor and wanting to reinvent your whole life and you don't know how it's going to work out. I kept that with me, that if I want something, I'm going to be tough and I'm not going to fold and I'm not going to let anybody ever tell me I can't do something.
That's powerful. And, you just mentioned something very important about, just reinventing yourself, throughout your whole entire life. CEO Charlie Rocket, you go by the Big Sexy, you go by so many different names. You had to reinvent yourself so many different times. Like, what is that framework? How do you reinvent yourself? Like, if I want to start, if I'm here and I want to be here, what's some advice that you would give somebody to reinvent themselves?
Well, I've done this a couple times in my life and I'm about to do it again. Okay, so it's a very fun time. So when I wanted to become a successful entrepreneur, I was actually in high school. I wanted to be good at something. And so I gave myself a superhero name. It sounds silly, but I named myself CEO Charlie. And then I put on a suit and I had a briefcase and I would go to school. I'm going to be a successful businessman. I'm going to speak it out of my mouth to everybody and I'm going to be it today. Why do you think I became a successful businessman? I created a web of accountability, not just in my own mind, but in other people's minds. And I'm not going to let anybody down, and I'm not going to let myself down. I am a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So the most important thing is to say it. This is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to wear it, and I'm going to be it, and it's going to be my identity. So I became a successful businessman. And then when I wanted to become an athlete, I was a 300-pound man in the music industry. And I had this dream and this vision to become an athlete. I wanted to be a Nike athlete. I wanted to do things like Ironmans, and I wanted to bike across America, and I wanted to be in commercials with LeBron James and Serena Williams. But I'm a 30-year-old, 300-pound man. How are you going to do that?
Right.
Just going to do it the same way I do everything in life. I'm going to give myself a name. I'm going to change how I dress. I'm going to be an athlete. So what I did was I got this like bandana. I got my sunglasses, my colorful clothes, and I invented this character called Charlie Rocket. And so now I'm going into a whole new journey, and I want to be an author.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book, and I want to write one of the best classics of all time. So in order to do that, I want to be an author. Well, how do authors look? I want to write a classic. So what does a classic look like? So I made a mood board. I'll show you like some examples of this and we'll show the camera. But check this out. Like, this is how I'm going to dress. Like this. So it's going to be, I feel like this person is an author.
It looks very studious.
Studious. So like an Ivy League streetwear. Okay. So it's like, I'm going to become it first. So like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see. So like Ivy League streetwear.
I like that. You gonna give yourself a author name too?
You know, I haven't come up with that yet. But when it hits me, it's going to hit me. But I'm going to be it. I'm going to be a author. So my book is going to come out next November 27th. I'm going into a new dream. Okay? And this can go one of two ways when chasing a dream.
Right.
We can go the delusional route or we can go the realistic route. My path that I've always done and my secret sauce to chasing dreams has always been the delusional route. Me being delusional actually gets me to my dream, and it's why I've been able to achieve so many dreams in my life, like winning Grammys or becoming a Nike athlete or managing some of the biggest artists or winning an Emmy or being in a Super Bowl commercial or doing an Ironman or becoming a millionaire because I'm delusional. So here I go. I want to write a book. If I took the realistic route, my brain would kick in and think, I don't know how to write a book. It's probably pretty hard. So I'm going to have to work really, really hard. It might take me about a year, but I'm not that good of a writer. Maybe I need a co-author. Let me Google how much like ghostwriters cost.
Yeah.
Okay, ghostwriters, ooh, some of the good ones, they charge $100,000. I don't have that. Okay, but then there's some that charge $30,000, but what if they're not good? My book might suck. And then like, oh, I need a publisher. Authors have publishing companies. But like, I don't know how to get a publisher. I've never done that before. And then publishers, they take all your IP. And then they only give you like 13% of the book. I'm like, oh, that sounds bad. So it's like I have this dream, but this realistic mindset just paralyzed me. And guess what? Guess what most people do when they get paralyzed?
Stop.
They stop. The other path is this. I'm delusional.
Yeah.
I'm going to write a book, JR. I'm going to sell 30,000 copies. No, I'm going to sell 300,000 copies.
So you selling 1 million copies, Charlie.
No. What if I sell 3 million copies? Hold on, let me do a Google search. How many books did The Secret sell? Oh, 30 million? How many books did The Prophet sell? Oh, 150 million? Oh, that's possible? Hold on, let me Google. How long did it take for the author of The Prophet to write the book? 6 days? How long did it take the author of the book Forrest Gump to write the book Forrest Gump? 6 weeks? That's it? Oh, let me Google David Goggins real quick. David Goggins sold 7.5 million copies of his book, and he self-published it? I'm like, hold on. So this is possible? Okay, so maybe it's not hard. Maybe it'll only take me 6 weeks. Maybe I'll self-publish it. Maybe I'll just use AI right now and make a little cover. Oh, wow. Maybe I'll write this thing in just a few weeks and I'm going to put it out and it's going to be a classic. That delusional thought process, I got my brain working from my heart. My heart has a dream. My brain's job is to be realistic. But the brain will go into this valley of reality and it will kill a dream. So I need this bridge. The bridge is the heart. If we can get our brain working for our heart and finding ways that it is easy, I don't go into anything I do saying, this is going to be hard, I'm going to have to grind. I go into it saying this is easy and it's not going to take very long. November 27th, my book is coming out. I'm going to sell 30 million copies. I'm writing a classic. I have my outfit. I have my release date. I have proof other people have done it. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to show up to my dream. And guess what? Most people who just show up to class, they pass. And the ones who just don't show up, they really don't pass. Now for me, I want more than passing. So I'm going to show up, I'm going to sit in the front row, and I'm going to tell everybody, listen, I'm going to be the smartest kid in the class. And it's going to be easy. I'm going to speak it. I'm going to do it because I believe that I can. And so anybody out there chasing a dream, it's going to be really hard. Yeah. Just don't tell yourself it's going to be really hard. Because you will talk yourself out of a lot of action. I am a dreamer, but I am a doer. And there's a reason why I do so much. Because I actually am delusional enough. I am actually delusional enough to believe it's going to be easy. And when you believe something's going to be easy, you don't walk to it. You run to it. And then that's been my secret sauce for achieving everything I've done my entire life.
That's powerful. So what if you tell everybody your dream, Charlie, and someone says that's not possible? You can't do that. What do you say then?
The number one thing that frustrates me in this world is when somebody tells me you can't do that or you need to be realistic. And want to know what's interesting? When somebody tells me that, it actually speeds up my dreams coming true because I get frustrated, but I don't get frustrated in a low frequency. I get frustrated in a very high frequency. I tell them, don't tell me to be realistic. I'm about to do it and I'm about to do it now. And when I get like that and I actually double down on speaking.
Right.
I don't believe people when they tell me something. They tell me that's not possible. I don't believe you. Because I have proof from every successful person in this world that it is. Every successful person in this world was crazy. And there was always the ones who doubted them. There was a time where I wanted to be a Nike athlete, and I wanted to make a fan-made Nike commercial. And people were telling me to be realistic. I walked away from the music industry. I started calling people in Hollywood who were producers, and I was looking for a crew that can make a fan-made Nike commercial. And they all told me, Charlie, you need about 10 people on this crew. It's probably going to cost about $70,000 for a low-budget Nike commercial that you want to make. I said, I'm not spending $70,000 on an Instagram clip to my 10,000 followers. Like, I want to find one person who can make this. And they said, Charlie, that's not how it works. You're going to need a lighting guy. You're going to need a film guy. You're going to need an editor. You're going to need a scorer. You're going to need somebody who can make the music. You're going to need an equipment person. You're going to need a sound person. You're going to need somebody to mix and master the audio. So I took a gentleman out to dinner at this restaurant in Los Angeles called Gracias Madres, and he was a film producer. He knew everybody in the industry. And he said the magic words to me, Charlie, you need to be realistic. And I got so pissed off because now he's about the seventh person who's told me this. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to find the person who's going to shoot this commercial, and I'm going to find him tomorrow. Mark my words. So I took that and I turned it into fury. And my fury wasn't a bad thing. It was actually everything coming out of my mouth was positive. There wasn't a negative thought. He was just speeding up my passion. So I actually appreciate somebody telling me I can't do something. So the next morning, I'm in my living room and I'm writing in my notebook. Today is the day I searched/found my videographer/editor is done. It's easy. ! Here. My roommate walks in the front door, and behind him is this guy holding this big, like, movie Steadicam rig with all these accessories. And I'm looking at my notebook, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, did this guy just walk in my front door? Like a cameraman walked in my front door. This does not happen. So I asked him, I said, do you do videos? And the first thing out of his mouth was, yeah, I do videos, but nobody ever pays me. And so, like, my heart dropped because I'm like, oh, God, like, this dude's negative. He probably isn't very good. Like, he just sounds negative. I said, could I see some of your work? He said, I haven't updated my website in 7 years. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, I thought this was my magical moment.
Yeah.
So I click on a video on his website, and it was a short film. And I said, this is really good. Did you shoot this? He said, yeah, I shot it. I said, did you edit it? He said, yeah, I edited it. I said, whose equipment was this? Because this is like the highest quality. He said, well, like, I'm kind of like a hoarder. Anytime I make money, like, I like, have equipment. I have lighting. I have dollies. I have Steadicam rigs. He had everything. I was like, well, who made the music? Because film is all about the music. And the person who shoots and edit never makes music. He said, I used to be in a rock band, and the record label dropped us, and we used to be on the Warped Tour. I said, hold on. You made the music, these strings, these emotional strings. He said, yeah, I made it. I said, who mixed and mastered this audio? He said, well, I have a studio in my bedroom. I mix and master the audio. I said, hold on. Who color graded this? He said, well, I taught myself Da Vinci. And I was like, I was mind blown because here I am the night before. This guy told me to be realistic and that I couldn't find somebody who can do everything. And here I am writing in my Quantum Possibilities manifestation notebook, and this guy walks through my front door. And I told him this idea that I had. I said, I want to be a Nike athlete. I want to make a fan-made Nike commercial. Nike's going to see it. Nike's going to sign me, and I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. And he said, dude, you're crazy. I said, I know, but I know this is going to work because when I close my eyes, I see this dream, so I know it's real. We sat down. He started storyboarding on a piece of paper these ideas, and I said, how much is this going to cost? He said, $660. I said, excuse me? I said, why $660? He said, well, we need a 10-foot PVC pipe with 2 elbows, 2 belts, a skateboard, and if we rent this one lens on a Friday, we get to keep it all weekend. So we can shoot 2 days. I said, you really think you could do this? He said, absolutely. The film we made, we put it on my Instagram, and 3 days later, my phone rings from Nike. And the gentleman from Nike called me. And he said, we don't know how you did this, but you got our entire campus in a frenzy fighting over who's going to bring you here first. So they put me in a limousine. They put me in first class, and I'm going to Nike's campus. I feel like my dream is about to come true. Everybody told me that I was crazy. Like the bank. Everybody told me I was crazy. And I'm headed to Nike's campus, and they walked me into this conference room with 30 of the biggest executives. And they said, Charlie, we can't tell you what we're doing, but you inspired us to change the entire direction of our company. Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to call you with an update. They gave me a whole bunch of shoes. I then go bike across America, and one day they mailed me an astronaut backpack. I made another fan-made Nike commercial about crazy dreamers, and I named it Dream Crazy.
Saw it so many times.
Nike saw the commercial. Nike then emailed me, and they said, Charlie, we have an update for you. In this email is an NDA. We need you to sign the NDA. I said, oh, this is going to be good. And then they said, there's a private link with a password. I want you to click on it. I'm sitting down in the grass beside a track, and I'm watching a commercial in real life that I saw in my mind 9 months earlier. When I closed my eyes, I saw myself in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams, and I was delusional enough to show up to chase that dream. And I'm sitting here watching a Colin Kaepernick Nike commercial titled Dream Crazy. And it had Colin Kaepernick, Charlie Rocket, LeBron James, and Serena Williams. And this commercial became the biggest Nike commercial in Nike history. The stock price went up $8 billion. We won an Emmy for this commercial, and it was my dream come true moment. Just a year and a half before, I was 300 pounds. I was a music manager, sick with a brain tumor, and I walked away at the height of my career to chase this crazy dream that I saw in my head. And everybody told me to be realistic, and it's not possible. But every single time they told me to be realistic, I used that as fuel to speed up my manifestation. And yes, I showed up, and yes, I did the work, but it was not me alone, because there was a gentleman who walked in my front door the same day I was manifesting that I was going to meet this person who was going to make this commercial. So God had a big, big hand in this. It was not just me. I set out to chase the dream, and God conspired, and the universe conspired to make it happen. And my dream got to come true in the biggest way possible. I got to be an athlete.
That story gives me chills. Charlie, let me ask you a question, Charlie. When he told you it was only going to cost you $660, what was going through your mind?
I didn't believe him. I was like, oh God, like this.
How much would you have paid?
I would have paid like $5 or $6 grand. Yeah. I was not willing to pay 70 grand for an Instagram clip.
Right.
But what we made, I mean, it was just God sent. The man walked in my front door. Like,
that reminds me of something else, right? And so I feel like that happens to you a lot. You attract the people that needs to be in your life at the right moment. And so there was a story of a producer, goes by the name of FKi First, right? I think you said he was homeless or something like that. Can you tell me a little about that?
It's across the street. This story took place across the street from this studio we're in right now. My girlfriend's heard this story 100 times. And then so as we're driving down the street, I said, that's the place.
I didn't know that.
So I'm down. It's actually a pretty dark time in my life.
A lot of good things start to happen to you in those dark moments, it seems like, though.
And my grandfather told me Santa Claus delivers presents in the dark. And every time something bad happens in my life, I'm always looking for the gift, because there's honestly never been something bad that's happened to me. I'm a delusional optimist, and I'm that way for a reason, because I have proof that bad things aren't bad things. We just label them as bad. Bad things can be great things if we label it as good. If somebody told you walking under a ladder was bad luck, would you believe them?
Not really.
Okay. Could it be good luck?
Could be good luck.
It's just what we say it is.
Everything.
Absolutely. It is. Every time I walk under a ladder, I get good luck. Why? Because I said it. So a bad thing is not a bad thing. a bad thing can always be a great thing. And we could disarm any negative force by just giving it gratitude. So at this time, my rap group, Travis Porter, my first group, we had taken off. Every record label wanted to sign us. And then our biggest hit record was taken away from us in a controversy, a legal controversy, and everything fell apart. I'm at a recording studio in College Park, Georgia, and the producer, Mr. Hankey, he told me about this kid.
Thank you. I had him on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
He told me about this kid who would mix records for $50. I was like, what? $50?
How much was it going for around that time?
I mean, you would always pay $200, $300, $400 to mix a song. But Mr. Hankey said he was the best. So I head over to the studio. I owe him a couple $100 to mix our songs. He walks out of the studio, and I saw this like pain on his face. And something told me, don't give him $200. Give him $5. So I gave him a few $100 extra, and I asked him, I said, what's going on with you? He said, man, not even gonna lie to you, Charlie, like I've been sleeping on a couch in this recording studio. Like I'm homeless. I was like, can I give you a job? Because we've been recording our music in my mom's basement on a $100 microphone. And we're recording the garage band, and our little speakers are on top of like little trash cans that we turned upside down. You know, the little black trash cans? Those are like our speaker stands. I was like, we need an engineer. We need to take this more seriously because we've had some big records, but we've fallen off and like the money's run out. I didn't have much to pay him, but we needed somebody like him if we were going to take our career seriously. So it was an investment I was willing to make. And he was our engineer for about 6 months. And after 6 months, one day he shows up with a keyboard, a big keyboard. And we kind of make fun of him a little bit. Why you got a keyboard? He was like, I make beats. I'm like, man, we know you. You don't make any beats. Got this big old keyboard. You don't make beats. First beat he made changed my life. Song called Make It Right. Second beat he made called Bring It Back. This was a top 10 record in the country. And then he made another beat called Bring It Back times 1,000. And that song was called Hey Ladies. Okay, now ladies. Number 2 song in the country. There's so many times in my life where a dark moment delivers a present. Santa Claus delivers a presents in the dark. And so many times we're always looking up to a successful person to change our lives. Sometimes it might just be a kid who's sleeping on a couch, who is the genius. And we should never judge a genius by their success or their bank account. A genius was always a genius. It's just sometimes people will overlook them because they're not successful yet. And there have been people in my life who changed my life, and they were less successful than me. And that young man went on to not just produce some of the biggest records in my career, but he also went on to discover Post Malone and Iggy Azalea. From sleeping on a couch to signing, discovering and producing one of the biggest artists of our decade. Now that's an inspiration.
Yeah, man. You changed a lot of lives, Charlie. God is amazing. God is amazing.
I want to hear your story though, man. Tell me the details I don't know in that moment that we came into each other's lives.
Yeah, man. So I always call myself, I write poetry. I always call myself a dreamer. And I just dream. I just dream out loud. I just didn't. I grew up, you know, my mom, I love my mom. I love my mom so much, but you know, she's the type of person, don't tell nobody your business. And so I'll have all these ideas and I'll just keep it inside. You know, I started writing everything down, and then, you know, one day I had this idea to create this do-rag, right? It was it was like a Dragon Ball Z do-rag. I created this Dragon Ball Z do-rag, and posting on social media, started going viral. COVID happened. So COVID happened, and then Thundercat made a song called Dragon Ball Durag, and he wasn't wearing my exact durag. He was wearing like a replica of my durag, but he made a song about my durag, and everything started going viral again, all over. It's COVID. This was at the time my girlfriend, now my wife, her mother's business, and started exploding, and things were going good, man, and but unfortunately I had to walk away from that business. It just wasn't working out. Sometimes you can't mix. At that time, it was just egos was colliding. I'll say that. And then I walked away, and then we decided to move to Atlanta. So we made six figures that year, and kind of had to choose myself, choose my peace. I just walked away, started all over. We came to Atlanta with $500. We were in our car, we were in the hotel room. Money was running out. And I've been following you for some months before then. I've been following you since, that was 2020. I've been following you since, I think, 2019. And you were talking about, like, the law of attraction. You were talking about quantum physics, and you was talking all this good stuff. And I was just like, I understood the importance of environment. And I was like, man, I just got to be around that type of energy. So I was reaching out to anybody that I could find. Just, how can I be of service? That was the question I asked everybody. How can I be of service? How can I be of service? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? A lot of people left me on red and didn't respond. I was okay. Then I saw that you was in Atlanta, and I was like, man, if I could just be around his team, maybe I can help. I don't know. So I asked everybody in your team. I think you posted a picture and you tagged everybody. And I DM'd everybody on your team. Hey, man, I see you guys in Atlanta. How can I be of service? How can I be of service? How can I be of service? And I don't think anybody responded, but then Tyler responded. Shout out to Tyler, wherever you are. God bless you. Tyler responded. And he was like, he's like, I don't have an address yet, but we're gonna be giving away some cars. I'll let you know. So okay, cool. So the night before I met you, I think we were actually in the parking lot, Howell Mill, the Quick Trip, right around the corner from here. I called my brother Justin, and I was like, hey, bro, can I borrow $10? Like, just put some gas in the car. I had no money to talk. I put some gas in the car, maybe get like a sandwich. We used to. Me and my wife, man, we used to like share the little grilled cheese sandwiches, man. And he sent me $20. I was like, he sent me $20. So I put some gas in the car. It was cool. And then I think it was the morning, and Tyler didn't send me the address. I was like, it's okay. So I sent him a DM. I was like, hey, man, it looks like it looks like I won't be able to come, see you guys, but it's okay. Hopefully when you guys are in town next time. And he was like, hey, bro, don't worry about it. Here's the address. I'm so sorry. I forgot. And then he sent me the address. And I was like, oh, God. And so we drove. I don't even know. I think it was like in Buford Highway or something, like the mall. Shout out to where we went, man. And so I got there. I waited. And then I think I seen the bus pull up. So I walked out. And I was like, hey, Charlie. He was like, nice to meet you. And he was like, I already know who you are, man. And the energy was amazing, man. And we gave away some cars. You told like this amazing. I want you to tell that story. You told like an amazing story to the team there, and then you was like, oh, you want to do another gift? You want to do another gift back? And I was like, sure, why not, man? I think it was the amputees. Mm-hmm. And then and you sent me the address. So I put the address in, and we're going there. I'm like, I don't think we're going to the right place, babe. He's supposed to be going this way, but we're going the wrong way. But I'm just gonna follow the bus. I don't think they're gonna take me anywhere crazy. I don't know. They seem like good people. And then he was like, and we got to a house. I'm like, it's like a house. I don't know. Maybe he has to use a bathroom. I don't know. He's from Atlanta. And then he was like, yeah, man. This is actually my house where I grew up. This is my mom's house. This is my childhood house. And I remember you told me that it was like 2 days after Thanksgiving. We actually ate Thanksgiving in our car that day. We stopped at a church. I forgot the name of the church, and we got Thanksgiving dinner there. And I didn't eat meat, so half the stuff I couldn't eat. I just ate like the macaroni or whatever. And I told you that story, and then I told you I didn't have a Thanksgiving, and you was like, well, we have some leftovers. Let's have Thanksgiving, and we're eating, and you disappeared, and you came back, and you came back with some money, and you gave me some money, and I don't know, man, I think about that moment at least once every week. Like, what if I didn't, like, what if I didn't ask to be of service? What if I just took the no, like, what if I took the silence as rejection? What if, you know, I just left it alone at, oh, this was cool. We gave away some cars. That was nice. Thank you, Charlie. Didn't take the chance to go do the next gift back. I don't know. Like, my whole life is what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. But I don't stop. Like, one of the things somebody told me the other day, like, I asked somebody, like, what don't they like about me one day? And it was like, that you're relentless, that you don't give up and you don't quit. I don't know. I just don't quit. I just look for the next solution. And even being in this building right now, like, we're partners with this company. We're marketing partners with this company. And right before then, like, we couldn't even pay the rent in our studio. Like we had like the roughest few months, and then we couldn't pay the rent for our studio, and we ended up losing our space, our warehouse space. But then God gave us another opportunity as a partner here, and now we don't pay for a space. And I was talking to the founder of this place, Tyler, and I sent like the night I sent him a letter like, yo, Charlie. I said, Tyler, I'm the type of person, I'm very vulnerable. I put it out there. I just tell the truth. I just speak from my heart, and I just share the truth. And I was like, Tyler, man, like, be in this place, I feel safe. I feel seen. There's a bunch of different entrepreneurs just doing something. Every time I come here, sometimes I just walk around this building just like, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out though. But every time I come here, I just feel like there's opportunity here. And I just keep going. I just keep going. And that's just who I am. I just keep going no matter what. Like, I'm wearing this shirt that says, this is my $1 million shirt, because I know I'm gonna be a millionaire. I've been saying I'm gonna be a millionaire like since 2018. That's I'm gonna be a millionaire. I haven't got the money in my bank account yet, but I know I'm a millionaire. Yeah, right now. Like, I'm a millionaire right now, and that's just a little bit of me, Charlie. I don't want, it's not about me though. It's just a little bit of me. That's why, like, you inspired me so much. Like, if I'm feeling sad, let me go see what Charlie got going on right now. Let me see what Charlie's doing right now, man. Like you are inspiring like millions of people all across the world. Like, and that's something that I want to do, and I don't know how you keep showing up every single day, no matter what life throws at you, but you keep showing up, no matter the health scares, no matter what. And, talk about success. Like, if you want to be successful, you got to study people that have done it before you. And you're one of the people that I study, I look at, and I give gratitude for you, because of your existence. It inspires me to keep going, and just even be able to do this interview. Like, there's so much happened this week, but I was like, I gotta do this interview. Charlie said, yes, I gotta figure this out. And I figured it out. We're here right now. So thank you for the opportunity.
You are relentless and you are inspiring. And I follow you on social media, obviously, every day. And I was like, this man is so dedicated to figuring out how to get his dreams. And you are just one simple tweak away. Do you know who Nolan Ryan is?
I've heard the name Nolan Ryan.
So Nolan Ryan was a pitcher in the MLB. And he holds more records than any other pitcher in the MLB. He's thrown 7 no-hitters. The next closest person was like Cy Young with only 4 no-hitters. Like, that's how good of a pitcher this man was. And his story was so inspiring to me. I recommend you watch his documentary, because what happened his first like 5 or 6 years of being a professional baseball player was he wasn't good. Now, hold on. I just said he holds the most records. Most people who hold the most records are always good. Good in high school, good in college, good their rookie season, all the way to record. He worked at a used car lot in the off season his first 5 years as a pitcher, because he always thought he was about to get laid off by the team. He wasn't good. He was sloppy. He was all over the place. He was passionate, but he was always on the verge of being cut from the team. He's from a small town in Texas called Alvin, Texas. And one day, something bad happened. the worst thing he could have imagined. He got traded to the worst team in the Major League Baseball. Now, what did my grandfather tell me? The presents are delivered in the dark. He gets traded. He's one of the worst pitchers, and now he's one of the worst pitchers on the worst team.
How could he win?
Everything's going against him. He was traded to the Anaheim Angels, and they had a pitching coach. That pitching coach would see him pitch, and he said, you need to tweak this one little thing. He tweaked it. And from that moment forward, he became the greatest pitcher to ever pitch in the MLB. And when you look at his stats, nobody will ever catch him. Most strikeouts, most no-hitters. My best friend Langford's a pitcher. He knows. He was one of the best pitchers in the state of Georgia, okay? He just loves basketball more than baseball, okay? Throwing 7 no-hitters will never be done again. The next closest pitcher in the most strikeouts category is 1,000 strikeouts away from catching them. It is never going to happen. This man took his first 5 years and was terrible and then became the best because of one trade that was a dark moment, and a coach made one tweak and everything changed, not just in his life, but in history forever. Nobody will ever break his records. You are one small tweak away. And if there is something bad happening in your life right now, start looking around. Because there is a gift that's about to change everything, not just for you, but in the history of this world, because you're cut from that cloth. You are destined for greatness, and you know it. That's why you're wearing that shirt. You've always been greatness. You just needed this story to truly be great. You needed the story of struggle, because that's ultimately going to be the greatest gift you've ever had. So make sure you're grateful for it. If you're still dealing with things today, that's a good thing.
Sir.
Because you're going to get out of it, and then it's always going to inspire you to reach your hand back and get other people out of it as well.
Sir.
You're going to be just fine.
Thank you, Charlie. Charlie, how you made this about me? It's supposed to be about you.
No, man. We're a team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man. I have so many different questions. Man, thank you, Charlie. I received that. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Man, just to even talk about gratitude, I received that. Like, this is the symbol for gratitude. I know you have your winning streak tattoo.
Uh-huh.
If you,
we have them in the same spot too.
Anytime I put my head down, I put my head down a lot. Sometimes I pick your head up, be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. So thank you. I received that.
Absolutely.
I'll always be grateful. Thank you. Man,
ask me anything, brother.
Ask you anything.
Nothing's off limits with me. I'm an open book.
Okay. I see you have the 2 of the most important women in your life.
I am.
They are with you.
Aren't they so beautiful?
How important is that for you to be surrounded by the people that you love and it's that you care about?
I got really, really lucky. My mom, honestly, I think all parents could really learn from her, because she always believed in my dreams. It didn't matter how crazy it was. She trusted me. And that trust in me has allowed me to trust in other people. Like, she instilled that. And I wish everybody got to experience what I experienced. But when I'm, 14 years old and I'm banging on the bathroom door saying, what's your PayPal or what's your social security number? And she's like, why? And I'm like, I'm opening a PayPal account. I need your social security number. I'm too young to open up a business account. And she would let me use her social security number to start a business without her even knowing what PayPal was. She just always believed in me. I wanted to go to New York as a 16-year-old and meet with my 16-year-old business partner in New York, and she let me go by myself. I had to stay at this place where the nuns have like a little hostel, and they serve a really good breakfast, but she said, if you stay with the nuns, you can go to New York. But my mom, she always believed in my dreams, and she always trusted me. I think that was the main thing. So I got very lucky with her, and as far as like my love life goes, I never really actually thought I would end up with somebody. I kind of accepted the fact because I have really high standards of energy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't tolerate bad energy in my life.
Okay.
And I kind of got spoiled by my parents because they never gave me bad energy. Not one day did my parents disappoint me. You know, most parents, they'll have a bad day and holler at you about something. And, you know, I just never even had that. Like, my parents were amazing. So I have high standards for energy. And, you know, most women that I dealt with, it's just, you know, they were human. And I honestly needed an angel. I wanted an angel. And I actually found one. And my best friend, she said to me, she said, Charlie, how do I find love like how you found love? And I said, I had to go chase my dream. I had to do the biggest, scariest thing that put me in alignment with my like sole purpose to be on this earth. And that alignment brought me my blessing.
Yeah.
And I told her, there's something that you got to go do that you've been ignoring. And when you go do that, you're going to find the love of your life too. Chasing your dream it brings every miracle that you could ever ask for. Not just the dream, but everything around you changes when you go chase that dream. And so I got very lucky with them, but I'm not just lucky with them. I have the most amazing friends in the world. One of them is Langford Hutcherson. Let me tell you, when I was in middle school, see, if I have a gift, there's this one gift. My heart tells me everything. And I actually listen to my heart. I'm in home run. And I saw this kid sitting in there. I said, that's going to be my friend. I just saw him. I was like, that's my friend. And it was the same thing with sports. When I saw a basketball court, I said, I want to be a part of this. When I saw it with hip hop, I need to be a part of this. When I want to be a Nike athlete, like I let my heart tell me what's right for me. And then I just trust it. And it always works out. Langford is one of the most amazing humans on this earth. He's the CFO of the Dream Machine Foundation. He's there through every dark moment. And I don't know why I got so lucky with so many amazing people, but I got Langford, I got Tasia, I got Scott, I got my girlfriend, I got my mom, I got my dad. I really got blessed. And I truly believe like that's what inspires me to keep wanting to do good in this world, because doing good is always the right thing for other people, but I get a lot out of it too. I get blessed with the most amazing people, the most amazing memories, the most amazing laughter, and even I get blessed with the most amazing tough times, because those tough times always deliver a gift every time.
Every time, man. You track what you put out. And I got a funny Lanford story. Not really funny, but I remember because we met in 2020 as well at the Sky's Own place.
Yeah.
Sky's Own place. And I think there's no more spots. And I think he gave up his spot for Natalia so she can go have fun because she was having a long day. So she never forgot that. Thank you, Lanford.
Give it up for Lanford.
Give it up for Lanford, man. You know, man. So you walked away from the music industry at the height of your career.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like you were betraying yourself at any moment, or did you feel like you were freeing yourself when you walked away?
That's a really good question, JR. I did have guilt that I was betraying my brothers and my business partners and my artists. I did have that. But my whole life, I really wanted to make sure everybody was taken care of. And here I was in a point in my life where I was not taken care of, and nobody could possibly take care of me. It's not their job, it's not their responsibility, and nobody would have the ability to see my dream come true. When I was 300 pounds, I would literally, my whole life, I would have nightmares that I passed away. And the thought of after my death, in my dream, the thought was I never got to experience my dream of being an athlete. And that sounds so silly, being an athlete. But I didn't choose that as a dream. It's just in me. It's like the calculator on the iPhone. Like when you have a dream, you can't help it. That's just what your soul wants. And it won't ever go away. You can bury it, but it won't ever go away. And so here I am in the music industry, successful, and I'm unhappy because, okay, I have money, I have success, I have notoriety, I have awards, I have houses, I have cars, and yet all I wanted was to know what it feels like to be an athlete. And that sounds so silly because how am I going to make money as an athlete? How am I going to, what does that even mean? I can't play for the Lakers. I'm not going to be in the Olympics. So I'm just going to run. But you see how the mind will really talk you out of your dream because it tries to go to this place of reality. But the heart just knows I have to do this. So I left. Everybody was a little concerned because it didn't make much sense. I said, I'm going to go be an athlete. I'm walking away from my music empire. And I did have guilt. So I told my business partners, you can have my shares. I don't want to buy out.
Just gave it all away.
I gave it all away. They offered me a buyout, but I didn't ask them for it. They're like, we'll give you something. So it's like, there's really stand up guys. And so when I walked away, I just started running. And I wanted to do an Ironman. I wanted to bike across America. I wanted to lose the weight. I wanted my health. I wanted my dream, and I wanted to be a Nike athlete. I don't want to just run. I want to be an athlete. I want to be right next to LeBron and Serena. I want the cover of magazines. I want to be an athlete. I was in the commercial with LeBron James, Serena Williams. I was on the cover of Runner's World magazine. I was able to make a living because I didn't know my story would be inspiring. And I went from helping my artists make $50,000 a show to where I started getting paid $50,000 to stand on the stage with a microphone just like my artists. And I did not know any of that was going to happen. So it actually all worked out. And I remember when I left the music industry, I told my mom, and she said something to me I never forgot. Because when you're a mother and you have a successful son, it is so fun to be able to tell your friends what your son is doing. Oh, nominated for a Grammy and this award and that award. And so when I told her I'm leaving, she trusted me. But she said, what am I going to be able to post on Facebook? I said, Ma, don't you worry. You're going to have plenty of things to post on Facebook. And I hope that I've over provided things you can post on Facebook so your friends can read it. And it's just getting started. I tell her all the time, I said, Ma, even this is like a conversation I have today. I believe in speaking. So I'm not a super rich man monetarily. I have money, but I don't have a lot. Not enough to be able to buy my mom the screen port she deserves or, the nicer car she deserves. And I said, Ma, this time next year, don't you worry. I'm going to buy you that car. We're going to get that screen porch. It's going to be so easy. So I always practice speaking these things because I know it speeds it up. So every chance throughout the day that I have the opportunity, I called Langford 4 times last week. First thing out of my mouth, 15 million. First thing out of my mouth. I have to say all throughout the day, all throughout the week, all throughout the month, every chance I get, I am going to speak what I want to have happen. And It's magic. Our words are spells. So we can cast a spell. That's why they call words spelling. And abracadabra is magic, right? But abracadabra means as I speak, I create, right? And there's how many species on this planet that can create? One. How many species on this planet can speak? One. That's us. So if we can speak it, we can create it. And if we speak it, there's something that happens where the magic flows. You're going to have a blessing fall out of the sky. It has happened before. It is going to keep happening. When you were I didn't know your situation, but it was just the perfect circumstance of you showing up, you taking a big bold leap, and then you end up at my mom's house eating a Thanksgiving dinner, and a blessing happened in that moment. But then I remember a few weeks later, you had a
funeral. My grandfather passed away.
Really?
My grandfather.
See, I didn't know that.
You flew me out there.
I did?
Yeah.
To Florida. Oh, with the
during COVID, yeah.
Oh, where you stayed at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
I bet you were in the presidential suite.
Yeah.
That was Kyle. Kyle. I can't take credit for that, but I made a connection.
The Kyle relationships.
Wow, I forgot about that. But then I remember you putting a first and last month's rent down, and you moved into a place with your wife. Yeah. Her business started going viral, right?
Viral over and over and over again, Absolutely.
You're going to keep attracting these blessings.
Yeah.
You are. You already have proof. You are a testimony. And so I'm actually excited what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks for you, because are you dealing with something right now?
Absolutely.
Then you're going to get a blessing right now.
Absolutely, man. But it's blessings all around, man. Success is in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Charlie keep throwing me off.
This is my favorite interview.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
What else you got?
I got a few more. I got a few more in the bank, Charlie. But you keep throwing me off with these questions. Oh man, I appreciate you paying here, man. This is actually a full circle moment for real.
Yes, sir.
We're in Atlanta right now. This is your hometown. What's something about Atlanta music scene, whatever scene Atlanta has that offer that no one knows about? You only the ones that are from Atlanta would know about.
Whew.
Maybe only you and Lanford know.
With me and Langford, no. I was thinking about this today, and I think people. How would I answer this? I was thinking about if there was a Mount Rushmore of like management or like record labels. Like there are some that are no-brainers, like Grand Hustle, DTP, CTE. But like I think the secret hidden gem that people do not give their flowers to is Street Execs. Street Execs is the most innovative management company, I think, in the history of music. And nobody really knows, from being able to create things like the Pink Trap House. My business partner, Al, thought of this idea. And it was the most Instagrammed location, and Snapchat location in the world for 30 days straight to promote an album. Management companies don't do that. Dab and Santa was a merch idea that hit me at 8 o'clock in the morning for my artist. And 3 weeks later, he did over 2.1 million in sales. That's a management company. From being full service to shooting the biggest music videos in the world for the biggest artists in the world, to having one of the biggest studios in all of Atlanta, to throwing the craziest events for our artists, to throwing the biggest charity concerts, and always giving back and giving away houses and cars, and like our artists, and everything we did had never been done before. From the billboard campaigns to the street teams, nobody had ever done what we did before, and it's kind of like a little Atlanta secret. But if there was a Mount Rushmore, I would think that if people actually knew what Street Execs did, It would say, oh, wow, nobody's ever done that for their artists in the history of hip hop.
So like, what's the qualities? Like, it seemed like you guys did more than just what the average manager does. Like, what's the qualities of a good manager versus a great manager?
Well, for us, I mean, me taking Al, we were really just built different. It wasn't about making more money. It was about being the best. We actually sacrificed so much of our own income because we wanted to build the websites for our artists. We wanted to give our artists staff that we paid for, not them. We built music video teams. Like, we had our own in-house production companies. We gave our artists their own studios so they didn't have to pay for it. We had in-house graphic designers. We had the biggest urban DJ website called DJServicePack.com for our artists. We had a producer website called SeeTheSound.com. We had an instrumental website called EveryInstrumental.com. We pressed up CDs and service packs and gave hoodies to each and every DJ in the Southeast. We provided all this for our artists because we wanted their dreams to come true. I think what was rooted in the minds of me, Tech, and Al was the best manager is going to be the one that cares about the artist the most. And that is just a service mindset. And so much of that I got personally from my parents. So my mom sold vacuum cleaners. And when you think about a salesperson who knocks on your door, you're probably irritated. Somebody's trying to sell me something. But every one of my mom's customers loved her. And it was totally different than what you would expect from a vacuum cleaner salesperson. She's taking me, I'm 6 years old, and I'm going in the biggest houses in Atlanta in Buckhead. And they all love her. And come to find out as I get older, I found out why. Because my mom was not there to sell. My mom was there to service. And she would have managers that she worked under, and they would get frustrated with her. Because she could have had an opportunity to sell a vacuum cleaner to a customer whose vacuum cleaner was broke. And my mom would tell that customer, we're going to fix it. Instead of a $2,000 new vacuum cleaner, I can fix that for $300. And so instead of leading the state of Georgia in sales, my mom led the state of Georgia in total dollar volume. And she did it without selling. She would sell without selling. She was there to be of service. So I carried that on in my career in the music industry. I am there to be of service. And then when I left the music industry, I carried that on when I started my nonprofit. I am there to be of service. It is my job to make the dreams come true for these kids with cancer and disabilities and rare diseases. And so I have to thank my parents for that amazing lesson that they implanted in me. And if you want all of your dreams to come true, ask, how can I be of service? And guess what you did that week when we came to Atlanta?
Be of service.
It worked.
Still ask that question.
It's always going to work.
Absolutely. David Meltzer taught me that.
That's a good man.
It's a good man. It's a good man. Absolutely, Charlie. And so how do you, like, you're such a pure guy, and I feel like your mind, you have to protect your mind at all costs. And I think you're one of the most famous Z-list celebrities I've ever met. How do you protect your mind with all these comments, all the negativity around? How do you stay protected?
Okay. My brain can only think of one thing at a time. Your brain can only think of one thing at a time. If your thoughts are dirty, what should you do?
Clean up.
Okay, if your hands are dirty, what are you going to do?
Wash.
If your brain is dirty, do you wash it?
And how do you wash your brain?
I brainwash myself. It's not a bad thing. If my thoughts are dirty, I'm going to brainwash myself. I am a delusional optimist. If something bad happens, I'm going to say, this is a blessing. If somebody tells me I can't do something, watch me. I remember, we can only think of one thing at a time. There's this path we can go down. A bad path, a negative thought, is like this spiral that replays over and over, like they call it a broken record, right? But let's just call that a bad song, okay? It's a negative thought. Does the song sound good? No. But why with negative thoughts, why are they so addicting? Why is negativity so addicting? Why is reality TV and toxicity so addicting? I don't know. It's human nature. We're addicted to the negative things, but that's a bad song. You listen to a good song, oh, it's nice. So I can go two ways. There's a bad song. I recognize it's a bad song. I'm like, I should turn that off. Let me put on a good song. What's a good song? It's up to me to come up with that. I need to think about something good. I have winning streak tatted right here to remind myself. Because every day, if I wake up in the morning and I get my cup of coffee, that's going to make me happy. This is the start of my winning streak. And when you start a winning streak, what do you keep doing?
Keep winning.
And you keep looking for the wins too. Now, if your team, do you have a favorite sports team?
I'm from Florida, so it used to be Miami Heat.
Okay, Miami Heat. Miami Heat have won 13 games in a row. What are you thinking about?
More winning. When's the next game so they can win some more?
14. When they won 14, what are you thinking about?
15.
When they won 15, what are you thinking about?
20.
Exactly. So imagine you started your morning off and you found 10 wins. You're training your reticular activating system to look for 11. It can be a green light. It could be a good parking spot. It could be as simple as, I have the best wife in the world. When you get to 12, you start thinking about 13. When you get to 13, you think about 14. Now you're noticing all the wins that are happening in your life. You brainwashed yourself because it is just as easy to look at 12 bad things. And then when you get to 12 bad things, you are trained to look for 13 because you start saying things like, oh, it's one of those days. So you've confirmed that it's one of those days. Oh, when it rains, it
pours.
So now you're expecting it to pour. That's the opposite of a winning streak. When it rains, it's freaking sunshines. How about that? Like, nobody would say that. But, like, no, when it rains, it's sunshines. Okay, let's look for the sunshine. Okay, you know what? The water's got flowered. That's a win. Trees are happy. That's a win. Okay, cool. Now the little worms are going to be alive in the thing. So now the birds are going to get some worms. I love rain. Shout out to the rain. My mom's flowers are going to be blooming now. I like the rain. That's called brainwashing. My thoughts were negative. We just watched it and made it happy. So that's how I protect myself.
It's beautiful. So you tell yourself good songs.
Absolutely.
So speaking of songs, Charlie, right? If your life was a mixtape, what would the title of your mixtape be? And would there be any features?
The title of the mixtape would be Winning Streak. Okay? It would absolutely be features. I need Shawty Low on there, okay? My favorite artist. I need all my artists. I need 2 Chainz on there. I need Travis Porter on there. My life is fun. I want it to be a fun mixtape. Okay, there'll be a little bit of depth at the end. Maybe some slow songs or something. But this thing's got to be fun. It's got to be colorful. It's got to be all over the place. I'll have the Strumbellas on there because I like indie folk. I like hip hop. I even like some pop music. We got to have a little Justin Bieber on there. But I need it to be colorful. That's all I want. When I put it on, I want to put it on first thing in the morning, and I want to feel like the sun's shining. That's what I want my mixtape to be. But it's going to be called Winning Streak. And that's going to be the title of my book as well.
Name of the book.
My book is called Winning Streak, Mastering the Art of Delusional Optimism. It's going to sell 30 million copies. It's coming out on November 27th. I'm going to speak all this into existence. It's going to be an instant classic. I'm even designing it to look like a classic. It's going to look like the book was printed in 1930. It's not going to have the paper cover or any of that. It's going to look like a classic.
Something cool that I see you do. You did it with the Dream Machine. You're doing it with your book right now. You put polls in your story, and you have your followers. They help you choose the themes and how it looks. Why do you do that?
I'm a pretty smart guy, but I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
I like involving people because people are really, really smart. And so also, if you involve people, they can feel like it's not my book, but it's also theirs. This is our book. With the book, I'm actually going to design a book club, and I'm going to send out these manuscripts chapter by chapter and let people read it before the book comes out and then get their feedback. If I can get 20,000 people to feel like this is their book and not mine, it's going to be an army of people who care. So it's a win-win-win situation. It's a win for me. It's a win for them because they get to feel a part. Now it's our book, and then it's going to be a better book for the millions of other people because people will give me feedback. So we're just better together.
So, Charlie, if you had to start all over, all right, with no social media, no internet, no Wi-Fi, nobody, just you and your thoughts, how would you do this all over again?
If I had no money, no Wi-Fi, no phone.
Oh, no social media, nothing. Like Grant Cardone when they just threw him in a different slide.
Right. I'd probably do something similar when I was a kid. I would start off by maybe cutting grass, just some sort of service, right? Because I need to make money today to pay the bills. Cutting grass, I could probably, convince somebody to let me get a lawnmower. I'll go around, offer a really good price to people whose grass is, I could walk around neighborhoods with my lawnmower. I get some money, and I would grow from there. That's how I did it as a kid. Services are the best way to start off. When I signed Travis Porter, I was living in my mom's basement, and I had a website bill that was very expensive. And the bills would come in, and my mom would always get the bills, and she said, you need to walk in this door and put some money on the table every time you walk in this door because these bills are due. And so I would just have to go out into the world and hustle things up. And when I signed Travis Porter, it's a risk because I know I'm not going to make money for a while. So I have to do two things at once, and I have to do two things really well because these bills are real, but my dream of building something that's going to make me a lot of money in the future is real. So about 5 months pass after signing Travis Porter, and we get our very first show booked in Clinton, North Carolina. Guess how much the show was?
How much?
$200.
Say $100.
Guess how much money I got to make?
Probably didn't make anything.
$40.
$40.
That's the reality of chasing a dream. But then fast forward 8-9 months later, I'm walking into my mom's house, and I have thousands of dollars coming in every day. Cash money from the nightclubs. We would leave a nightclub with a bag full of money. That's the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. But how did I get there? I needed to do something I can afford. There was a day that changed my life forever. Taught me the most valuable thing I could ever learn in business. Travis Porter was booked at a club in Cobb County. We were on our very first flyer. We show up to the club thinking this is going to be the best night of our life, and nobody was there. My heart was ripped out of my chest. And I said, I never want to feel this feeling ever again. So I said, you know what? We're going to be the hottest artists in Cobb County. But I have no money. How am I going to do this? The DJ at the club, his name was DJ Charlie Brown. I went on his MySpace page. I know that everybody who follows him lives in Cobb County because he's the local DJ in Cobb County. So what do? I start leaving comments under all his followers' page. And then if I would leave 500 comments a day, we might get 20 followers a day. People would see the comment, follow us. Then I would accept the follow, go to their page, and leave a comment. I could afford this. It cost me nothing. It cost me only time. So it'd be 6 hours a day and 7 hours a day. And the next thing you know, when you look at the MySpace unsigned top chart 6 months later, it's always between two artists for the #1 spot on MySpace. Travis Porter or YG. But what did I do? I took a DJ and I boiled a pot of water. I took a side of town. I can't boil a lake. I can't answer a question. If you say, Charlie, how do I make an artist the hottest artist in the country right now? I don't know. That's hard. If you were to ask me how to boil a lake, I'll tell you I do not know how to boil a lake. Maybe Elon Musk can figure out how to boil a lake, but I could boil a pot of water. I could take that DJ, I could take his followers, and I could message each one of them. And then we became hot in Cobb County. And then I did that in Gwinnett County. And then we did that on the east side of Atlanta. And then all these little pots of water are starting to boil. And then we add more water. Then we got Atlanta. Then we got the Southeast. Then we got the East Coast. Then we get Texas and the Midwest. By just boiling pots of water. It started with MySpace comments. I can afford that. Then once we started making some money, I replaced the MySpace comments with CDs. And we'd pass out the CDs every night, me and my business partners. And we worked our way all the way to the top by running the play. Just run the play. I told myself I don't want to be too smart. Because if I'm too smart, I start having to think of all these different ideas. I just need the one play that will guarantee my success. Because I'm tired of one, not having money. My mom's looking at me. I need to put money on this counter to pay these bills. Okay. I need to be using my time very wisely. So I'm gonna do these MySpace comments. 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours a day. Because it was free and I knew it was going to work if I did enough of it. And it worked.
Absolutely. So Charlie, man, one of the questions I like to ask all of my guests when they come on my show is, what's your definition of success? And as you know, success, it doesn't have anything to do with money. What's your definition of success? And would you call yourself successful now?
The logic in me would know I'm successful, but I never truly feel successful. I'm a dreamer. Yeah. So I always have my mind in this place of chase. And that's not true happiness. But to me, chasing is happiness. Because part of my mind would feel like success is once I made it, but then I'm like, I probably wouldn't be happy there. I might be successful, but I might not be happy. I actually enjoy slightly feeling unsuccessful because I really love the chase.
Right.
I'm always trying something new. I'm always starting over. I'm always trying to paint a new picture I've never painted before. And I'm really happy there. Now, yes, I want my dream house. It costs a lot of money. Okay? I have it on my refrigerator. There are things I want and things I know I deserve. But even when I get to that place where I have this true abundance and true freedom, I'm probably still going to go put myself right back at the bottom of the mountain and try to climb another one that I've never climbed before, because I really like feeling like I don't have success. And that's strange to say on an inspirational podcast, but how do I define success? I think that if you have the ability to get away from a trap and have free will to chase a dream, I think that is true success. But there's all sorts of different perspectives you can look at anything by. But maybe I'm not the person to ask what success is, because I don't ever feel like I've actually been successful. I know I have, but I haven't felt it. When I was at the top of the music industry, I didn't feel successful because I didn't have my dream. And then, I chase all my dreams, but there's always asterisks. There's always things that are holding me back, or there's always new things that I want. But I do know that I'm successful. I just don't feel it. And I kind of like that because I really like the sport. And I think athletes probably feel that way all the time.
That's why LeBron won't retire.
Right. It's there's another one. I don't feel like I won because I'm already on to the next one. But that's maybe not the most wise thing to do, because you're supposed to be grateful. And I am grateful, but I want to live a very interesting life. And so I think I was designed in a way to be willing to start over and over and over. So Langford's wise. What's the definition of success, Langford? You're such a wise man. I have this vision of what my ultimate dream looks like. And it is ultimately like laughing with my friends. That is like the truest form of success, is like we are all in a place where we are not in scarcity mode.
Support.
We are all winning individually. We are all feeling fulfilled individually. And we have time and free will to laugh and make memories. That is like the ultimate dream. But in order to get there, you got to like work really hard and stuff.
Absolutely. Do you laugh often?
I do.
It's good.
It's the only thing I want and crave in my life.
So like, a joke right now.
Oh, I don't have a joke. I'm just crazy. Like I like making memories.
Yeah.
So like, y'all don't judge. I'm a very positive person, but like my girl's going to a first strip club in her life tonight. Look at you laughing. See, that's fun, right?
Absolutely.
My girl is like the most wholesome, classy girl from the UK. And she's in Atlanta, Georgia right now. And we're taking her to Bankhead, the Blue Flame Lounge. But ask why? Because this is fun. It's going to be so fun.
You want to make a TikTok out of that?
We might. Should we make a TikTok? You heard it here first. We're making the TikTok.
Oh, man, that would be crazy.
So yeah, like, no, but I just want to laugh with my friends. So it's like, tonight's going to be one of those nights. Like,
Let's be safe.
We'll be safe. Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. But Charlie, man, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man.
This is a full circle moment for real.
Yes, sir.
When you told me yes, I was like, I'm not going to stop until I've been asking you for years. And you always said yes. It was just, I just didn't get a chance to get to LA. Just different things. It just wasn't, the timing wasn't right, but the timing was right.
This was perfect.
This was perfect timing. I think it was divine timing.
You know why I was so excited to do this?
How were you excited to do this?
Because I started editing my own videos again back in January. And so I've gotten really passionate about learning how to storytell. And I had a feeling that you would ask me things nobody's ever asked me.
Sure.
And so I was more excited for this interview than any of the big interviews I've ever done.
I appreciate you did some big interviews.
Because I want to sit down and I want to tell these stories that only you would know how to pull out of me. So I want to say thank you, because I don't think this was about me or you. This is really about the viewers. And I hope that they get something out of it. And you were able to do that for them. And so thank you for chasing your dream. Thanks for not giving up on your dream.
You never give up, man.
And I'm super excited to see the blessings that come into your life. And they're going to happen soon. You're about to get so much ease in your life.
Thank you. I received that.
Ease.
Tell me that all the time. So I receive it. And it happens right when you say it. So I received that.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. Absolutely, guys. And this is another episode of the Fly on the Wall Show. This was one of my most special guests. Full circle moment. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Peace.
J.R.